Welcome back. Now that Alligator Alcatraz is open, I spoke to Republican State Senator Joe Gruters, who was there this week with President Trump to tour the facility.
Well, listen, you got to give it to the president because just a couple of months in, he's accomplishing a lot of these goals that he set out. As a matter of fact, if you look at all the rallies that he spoke at, he always talked about closing the borders, deporting criminal illegal aliens, and that's what this event was all about. But the most important thing that the president needs is cooperation with state elected officials to help carry out some of these things. And of course, if you remember back earlier this year, we passed a bill in conjunction with coordinating with the White House and Stephen Miller and others, a bill that focused on beds, bad guys, and badges, the 3 Bs.
All right, so you sort of talked about the bad guys part of it, you know, and the president's vow to deport violent criminals. Are you confident that the only people that are going to be held and detained there are violent criminals? Because the vast majority of people who have been detained so far are not violent criminals. They either have no criminal history whatsoever, or certainly nothing beyond sort of parking or traffic infractions.
Well, so, anybody who's come across our borders illegally has already broken one of the laws. So let's get that clear right now. And the people that they're deporting have detainer requests already outstanding on them. That means, yes, that means they've been flagged, they have done some criminal activity somewhere throughout their life, or they've been previously deported, or they've missed their court date for when they were supposed to go in front of the immigration judges and they missed it. And so they automatically have a detainer order request. And let me tell you what a great job the governor in Florida is doing on this. In terms of the 287G program, which was part of that bill this year, I think we have 60% of the 287G contracts outstanding. And I think if you look at any specific day in Florida, we have 10 to 15% of the overall deportations you're seeing across this country.
But again, you didn't really answer the question. Are you confident that the only people that are going to be held at what you're now describing and what the president and everyone loves to describe as Alligator Alcatraz are going to be those violent criminals, not just people who are in the country illegally or have overstayed visas or suddenly had their TPS status revoked overnight by the president? And are they going to be rounded up, and are they going to be sent to this facility?
It's every criminal illegal that has a detainer request outstanding. So that can come from a lot of different ways to have that. Like I said, first, again, I'm going to say this right off the bat. Anybody that crosses without permission of the federal government is breaking the law. That's number one. Number two, you can get a detainer request numerous different ways. You've broken the law in some state. You could be beating your wife, rob a bank or whatever, and you've been let go from one of these sanctuary states. But also if you've been deported before for whatever reason, and or if you have had an immigration type proceeding and you've decided that you could just skip it, then usually the detainer request will go out on that person's behalf. And those are the people. Anybody that has a detainer request outstanding can be put into Alligator Alcatraz or one of the other numerous facilities that hopefully are going to be starting to build. But listen, the greatest thing about what the president's doing right now is he's giving all illegal immigrants the ability to self-deport, which includes a one-way ticket back to your home country and a $1,000 bonus cash payment. So hopefully people will see everything that's happening. They'll self-reflect and say, we better get out of here before anything bad happens.
You mentioned earlier that this is a little used airport and a little used runway. There's a reason why it's little used. It was because it was found that to use that facility, to build on that facility, to grow that facility would endanger Everglades restoration. And so while the airport was built, some 60, 70 years ago, it was never put forward because of the environmental impact. The governor claims that this is going to be a temporary facility. I'm curious, what does temporary mean? Do you anticipate that this will be lasting for 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years? How long is temporary in this?
Temporary until the job is done. So it could be a while. but it's a temporary structures. And the good thing is they don't have to go build any new buildings. They're using all the existing runways, all the existing poured concrete, and they're using tents, and they're using trailers, and everything that's being brought in can be brought right back out when they're done with this process.
Obviously, you know, Florida has hurricane season. Your community was hit really hard just the last couple of years ago. What is the plan? Because I keep hearing the governor say there's going to be a plan, but I don't hear anyone actually document what is the plan for once you put people there. If there is a tropical storm or a hurricane warning, what is going to happen to those people? What are you going to do with them? What is the plan?
Well, if you could believe it, Jim, these tents could withstand a strong Category 2 hurricane. So they can deal with winds up to 120 miles an hour. They're already prepared, and this is where Florida really excels. You know, you have Kevin Guthrie, the Department of Florida Emergency Management. You know, he helped this process by bringing all these materials. This was almost like a setup job for one of these hurricanes that we do, with all these materials, bringing it in and setting up the staging area and everything else. So I have no worries whatsoever about a hurricane. Like I said, these are built to withstand a strong Category 2.
I just want to understand, they may be built to withstand a strong hurricane too. Are you saying, though, that is what Kevin Guthrie and others have told you, is that if there is a Category 1 hurricane, that they would not evacuate the facility? If there's a hurricane, Category 2 hurricane, they wouldn't evacuate the facility, that the idea is to ride out a Hurricane 1 or Hurricane 2 scope of hurricane at that facility out in the Everglades?
Listen, I know it could withstand a strong Category 2 hurricane. I don't know what the exact operational procedures will be if there's any type of hurricane warning. But I know the governor, I know the President of the United States, I know Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem. They will not let anybody get injured. Just like anywhere else, they'll make sure that everybody's protected. This is not supposed to be a punishment. This is merely part of the procedure to make sure that we take these criminal illegals from around Florida and elsewhere, make sure they go through the right processing and get them on their way.